We are live.
What's going on, everybody? Yep, fight picks for dummies here, coming at you. Doing some predictions for UFC Fight Night, Makhachev versus Green, and yeah, we're just gonna kick it off first with the main card for now. Get our lock picks out of the way, then we'll start dinking and dunking through these prelims. So
Just so you guys know, I'm Chris, and this is Al.
this is I'm Al right here, and yeah, let's begin with this.
All right.
So as you see for the beginning of the main card, we have Gregory Rodriguez versus Armin Petrosian. Now, I think this is a pretty interesting fight. I mean, first fight of the night, well, for the main card, you have the UFC debut in Armin Petrosian coming off the Contender Series with I guess you can say it was an impressive knockout win over Kolev in the Contender Series, but that takedown defense he's proven he can't really get control, but that takedown defense, I think, is going to be a problem against Gregory Rodriguez, who has shown that he is excellent jiu-jitsu, great takedown offense. And I mean, he's submitting dudes left and right arm bars. And like LFA champion, it's impressive. This is a good fight. I mean, the main thing is if he can get him down and keep him down, like that'll tell a lot. If we see, because I'm almost 100% sure that Gregory's going to go for a shot within the first minute and a half at most. And if he can get him down there, and if he can control him for at least like 2 minutes riding time or something, then that might mean something. Get a couple submission threat attempts. That might mean something. But I will say on the feet, Armin is a very impressive kickboxer and very fast, strong hands too. I mean, he really can just put your lights out. But if I had to give a real pick, I mean, as far as betting goes, I like I like the under 2.5, because the under 1.5 is a little sketchy for me because I don't know, with these big dudes as of late, you can't really. I don't know because I don't think that he's getting finished on the ground. If Armin gets taken down, I don't think he's getting finished on the ground that early. I think it's going to take some wear and tear. But overall, I am going to lean. I am going to lean towards Gregory Rodriguez. I am going to go for him by submission or decision, and I like the under 2.5. Your thoughts, Chris?
I don't know. Finn Diesel versus Armin, the Armenian butcher. Truthfully, I don't know. I think, yeah, truthfully, I'd take Finn Diesel.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it, before, and I saw the line. I just saw the lines come out like maybe 5 minutes before, and I was already leaning towards him. And I'm not saying it, but I was leaning towards Gregory since last night. Really, I was a little, you know, half with it, but yeah, it came out. He's like minus 155 now, and let's see those lines on that under. All right, so they got the over 1.5 at plus 105 and the under at minus 135. That's what I'm saying. So, but I definitely like the under 2.5. But the over and that under for the 1.5 is like, I don't know, it's a little sketchy to me. This fight is definitely not going the distance. I don't think so. But if it does, it's going to lean towards Gregory with control. I really think he's going to get a submission win here, though. So let's move on. Next up, let's see what we got. Next up for the main card, we have Arman Saryukin versus Joelle Alvarez. What a fight! I mean, this is a good fight night main card. I mean, we got some people on our start. I mean, coming off with Gregory and Armin, we have Arman and Joelle Alvarez. Now, this is the thing with this fight. Arman, very impressive grappler, and pretty. He has some power in those hands too. But you can see already Armand coming in 5'7", 72.5-inch reach. I mean, we already know that when you look at Joel, he's 6'3" and 77. He has a 77-inch reach. I mean, he's massive for lightweight. And this is the thing: if he doesn't make weight, I'm gonna say this now. If he does not make weight tomorrow, I think this fight is probably gonna be canceled. So it's all about if he can make the weight. We saw him have problems last time against Thiago Moises, and granted that was a fight of the night performance, but didn't he miss the weight like drastically. So, but he is coming in as the bigger dude. Um, I actually I still thought I was 60-40 going into that last fight with Tiago. I mean, I really thought Tiago, could get it done. Especially, with this weight issue for Joelle. Like I said, if he doesn't make this weight, I mean, he's not coming back to lightweight. The fight's gonna get canceled. But if he does make the weight, I mean, that'll be one of the most recent times we'll see him fighting at his like the actual weight limit. Joel's powerful though, man. He's powerful. He's aggressive. He does get backed up though when he's getting pressured by it's just hard to explain with Joel because he's mixed with it because he can be really aggressive or he can be kind of passive. But with that last fight with Tiago Moises and him just fucking embarrassing Tiago, I mean, I don't know. This is another interesting fight. Arman, everyone knows him to have that decision loss to Islam Makhachev. But I don't know. Let's just take a look here.
I don't know, something like this. In my opinion, I think that wait, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Who was the second guy? Yeah, I think Joel. I think
Joel.
he's kind of built to take on a guy like that. If he's keeping his distance, then a lot of that knockout power wouldn't be too much of a problem on his side. So if he's able to just pick him apart, I think that he'll have an easier time this round.
Yeah. So if we look at Joel, I mean, that's that excruciating win over Tiago Moises. He has that round win over that guillotine choke over Joe Duffy, but we can say Joe Duffy has withered. Now this loss over here to Demir is Magulov. It's an interesting fight, but as we know, Demir is undefeated in the UFC. I mean, really, even that Ramzan Esmeralda fight was iffy. But and Demir, well, he's 5'10" though. He's not the short. He's not 5'7". Now it's gonna be this. Armin's gonna come through and really be able to wrestle and take him down and control him. Or I mean, Joel's gonna overwhelm him. And if I'm being honest, I like the underdog. I like the underdog here with Joel Alvarez. If he makes the weight and the fight doesn't get canceled, I like Joel actually by finish, believe it or not. So yeah.
I would take either finish or decision, like the double for that.
That's the way to go. And if we look at the lines for, let's see,
Yeah, I don't
for
know. I
that
just
fight,
feel
if
like
we look at those lines for like just the props, give you guys idea of what's going on. So the over 2.5 is it's a split, of course, pretty much -105 for the over and -125 for the under. Now for the fight props, will this go the distance? Yes, no, it's not really worth it. No real value there. But yeah, I think the best way to do it is to take Joel Alvarez money line because Joel Alvarez is a very strong submission artist too. I mean, we've seen him just put dudes to sleep. So many first round finishes. I mean, I like Joel money line +180. I'll take it. So that's that for that one. Next up.
yeah, I would definitely go with him just off his resume.
Next up we have a a female fight, Jeon Kim, Priscilla Cachoeira, which is some people might be sleeping on this fight, but I think this is a very high potential to make some dough. Now, for Priscilla Cachoeira, I actually put some nice decent bread on her. I think it was last May. All right, and she was like it was against Jeannie Mazzani. She was like a +265. Yeah, she was a +265, and she knocked her out. It was a very impressive win. Um, and not only that, but she also has the win over Shannon Dobson with that 40-second uppercut. Impressive. With Jeon Kim, I mean, she's only fought. I mean, the thing with her is just the inactivity. Her last fight, um, I believe it was it Ginny Fry? Yeah, I believe it was Ginny Fry.
Hover over that.
I believe it was. Oh no, I got her mixed up with someone else. But it was Molly McCann. I remember that. That was the same night that Patty Pimblett debuted. I actually had Molly McCann. I picked her up at a plus 100 right before it flipped. But I also had Priscilla Cachoeira at plus 265 against Gina Mazzani. That was last year, last May. So it's just the inactivity. She's only fought, if you look at Ji Young Kim, she's only fought what, 3 times since 2018. I mean, that's super inactive. I mean, you look at, she has a decision. Antonina Shevchenko, really all she has is the name. She's proven that she can't hang with the elite like that. Justine Kish was, even that was a weird win, split decision win over her, but I don't know. It's just the inactivity for me. I like Priscilla Cachoeira, and I like her. I like her by finish here.
Hmm.
Your thoughts, Chris?
Truthfully, on this, I mean, they're both coming off a loss. I would expect both of them to be, they're coming out to fight. Definitely one of them is going to have to take that dub, but I would definitely take this to go the distance, just because there'll definitely be a little bit. They should both they're definitely not going to be taking too many chances, but they'll definitely get out there and go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Priscilla Cachoeira by knockout or decision, of course. It's a female fight, so I'm gonna go by knockout or decision. Now, next up, we have
Misha
Misha Serkinov versus
versus
Wellington
Beef
Thurman.
Wellington.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second.
La Via. Let's check
All
my
right.
bench.
So yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, we got Misha Serkinov versus Wellington Thurman. We got the native Latvian, you know, coming off that brutal loss it was to it was brutal, who actually had him in that fight against Christoph Jotko. It was a split decision loss. It was a heart crusher because it was interesting. Misha was coming, digging and dunking. Again, he had the clinch cage control, but I mean, and then before that, he had that knockout loss in the first round of Ryan Spann. Then you look at these wins, and mind you, he's getting knocked out. He is getting knocked out in the first round. He's getting knocked out by Ryan Spann, Johnny Walker, Glover Teixeira. I mean, Volkan Ozdemir. He gets knocked out in the first round and early. But this win over Jimmy Crute was impressive until we saw the real Jimmy Crute against Jamal Hill. So, I mean, I guess that is what it is. I mean, it's a nice submission win over Nikita Krylov, win over Ian Kutalaba. But let's take a look at Wellington, who also was coming off a loss, I believe. Um, yeah, he's coming off a double loss, I believe. It was Bruno Silva. Well, actually, he's coming off that win to Sam Alvey, which was a split decision win, mind you. But he's coming off that. It was rough. Alvey, I still like Smiling Sam, but I guess I'll just leave it at that. But coming off that knockout loss against Bruno Silva, where Wellington he had a little bit of I wouldn't say success, but you know he had moments where he showed that he was able to apply the pressure and force Bruno to be in the backstab. But before that, I mean, he has that round one loss to Andrew Sanchez, who in turn also was. I know MMA math doesn't really count, but if you look at the Andrew Sanchez versus Bruno Silva fight, I mean, Bruno was arguably losing that fight until somehow, because Andrew was just taking him down, controlling him, wrestling. That's what you got to do against Bruno Silva. But all it took was one time for Bruno to break three. I believe it was in the third round, and just put his lights out. I mean, that's really just what that is.
I mean, truthfully, off this fight, I don't know how you're leaning, but I'm definitely leaning more towards the Beef Wellington.
You like Wellington Thurman. See, now this is the thing. I think I'm pretty split on this one. This is one of the first times I can say I might be a little 50-50.
I
But
don't
I do
know.
like Wellington by knockout.
Let's see what the public thinks.
Or,
Let's see what the
I
public
mean,
thinks.
it's either you go Wellington by knockout or Misha Serkinov by submission. That's what it is. But Misha Serkinov being the submission artist he is, you go either or. So that's just what that is. But for this, I mean, I know there might not be that much value here. I mean, let's check the lines. I definitely don't think this fight is going the distance. But here, if I actually have to give a real pick, my actual prediction, I'm not going to lay any real money on this one, but I'm going to check the over now. But I would go with Wellington Thurman by knockout. That would be my pick. So let's check those lines right here. So Wellington that's another underdog pick, you know. So that's we got Joelle already, and then Wellington Thurman. I like that, you know. And if we check the over under 1.5 over under 1.5 plus 130. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get that. I think it's definitely gonna go over 1.5. So if you want to do over 1.5 minus 160, I think that's a play right there. But you know, I mean, I know people are gonna give me slack saying that, you know, what you just said, all these first round finished losses for Misha is rough. I mean, but just the way that Wellington has fought against Sam Alvey and the way he fought against Bruno Silva, just you know, styles make fights. I don't really see this getting finished in the first round. It might be a little, you know, rough to go with the 1.5, but I would take the over 1.5 at minus 160. I would take Wellington Thurman to win the fight money line at plus 100 just to parlay it. And if you want, there's always, of course, there's always let's check that the submission prop for Misha. Misha Serkinov to win by submission is plus 225. I think that definitely deserves a little sprinkle if you want to do that. But I am gonna lead towards Wellington and the over 1.5. So that's that.
Yeah, truthfully, I feel like I got to go to Wellington. You know, it looks like over the past few fights that this guy just has not had it. You know, and he's losing to guys that you know have lost 6 fights, 5 bouts in their career.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's fighting like you know he's fighting competition, but it's not crazy competition. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think after this guy, you know, he got that Jimmy Crute dub, and then after that, this guy just I don't
It's
know.
rough. I mean,
He
yeah,
hasn't been doing his thing.
That Ryan Span loss held merit for a little bit until Ryan Span fought Anthony Smith. So,
I
I
don't
mean,
know. I think he's about to get put in.
yeah.
He's about to be up for a bad awakening. I don't know.
So there's that. Now let's head over to the main event. We have Islam Makhachev versus Bobby Green. And when this fight got announced, I was excited. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it sucked that Beneil um you know, pulled out. He had to pull out due to injury, ankle injury. But I was excited that Bobby Green came in and stepped in. We just saw him about a couple weeks ago against Nasrat Haqparast, who was we didn't make a video, but that was my lock of the night by far. And and he came through with an impressive, controlling, dominant win. And you have Islam, who is, you know, who is shown to be what people think he is as, you know, the future of the lightweight division. Some people would say. I mean, let's look at Islam. He is, of course, everyone knows him to be the cousin or friend of Khabib Nurmagomedov. But let's look at Islam. I mean, look, these 3 wins right here. His last 3 wins were his most impressive to me. Even the Armin win was impressive, but not as impressive as these last 3. I mean, Drew Dober, Thiago Moises, and Dan Hooker all finished by submission. I mean, the Davi Ramos fight was a very he really showed there how you can control somebody, right? But before that, it's not that much to go off of, really. I mean, Nick Lenz, okay, as a decision. Chris Wade was a okay one. Gleison Tebow, I don't know. And everything else was just on the regional scene, you know, in Russia, Dagestan. So let's go take a look at your boy Bobby Green, who the only time he's got, well, not the only, I don't think, but the last time he got finished was against Dustin Poirier, I believe. And that was just, you know, I'm gonna say it's a fluke, but he got caught. Lost the grappling match, Shane Shapiro knee bars, so that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna be a big problem if he's going against
Well,
Islam. But
he lost, and that's a grappling bout.
yeah, it's a grappling bout. It's not MMA. But
Yeah,
what is he? Who is he fighting? He's fighting a grappler.
yeah,
And
but
what is Islam doesn't want to? Even though I think Islam can fare okay on the feet with Bobby, he won't. I don't think he outshines Bobby on the feet by tremendous
I
amounts at
think
all. But I do think Islam. I mean, he's gonna be going. He's going for the legs. He's gonna be trying to get this to the mat. That's just what he does, And that's how these boys from Dagestan. That's how they win. That's how they win championships. So it's not. This is mixed martial arts. Bobby Green, very swift on the feet, fast hands, great head movement, able to really not get touched that much. And when he does, his chin is solid for the most part.
And I think with Bobby Green's usual tactics of getting in his opponent's head, I don't think this opponent you're really able to do too much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Even though I will say, um, I'm not riding. I'm not. Well, I am kind of writing Bobby off, but I'm not writing him off like to get fucking obliterated. Oh, excuse me, freaking obliterated. I'm not writing him off for that. But but yeah, it's just a matter of if Bobby can come through, like if he's I don't know how much work you can do in 2 weeks for takedown defense and wrestling, but
Well,
Bobby does have some solid takedown defense.
he's just working off his last
But when
camp, really.
yeah,
He basically just extended
yeah,
into
and
that
this is
last
also at a
fight.
catch. This is it's at a catch weight at 165. So I don't
Ooh.
know. It comes to see
So
like
that
how
might be a
good is
little
his
different.
takedown
That
defense.
might be a little different then.
Yeah, it's
Bobby
at
Green
minus
might be.
165. I keep saying that because I'm thinking about the line, the freaking line. But yeah, it's at 165 pounds. Um, yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious for me. I would take this fight. I would take. Let me check the over because that's what I'm taking. And of course, I'm going with Islam. Islam's my pick. I'm going with Islam to win by submission or decision. I don't think he knocks out Bobby Green, and that's my actual pick for as far as individual prediction on money line. But yeah, let's check the over. We got over 2.5 minus 105. I remember this is a 5 round fight. Over 2.5 minus 105. Under 2.5 minus 125. I don't know. I don't know. Now I would go with the over 1.5 if that's the case. Minus 205 for the over 1.5. Okay, because I think Bobby Green is tough. I think you know he has some fight in him to I think survive the first round, but don't know if he's going to survive the second. I don't know. I mean, it's tough, but my pick is Islam by submission or decision.
Yeah, the
Just how
Islam
he
by
is.
submission decision is definitely I'd
What's
say
the line
the
on that?
better one.
What's the line?
That's at minus 225 right
Minus
now.
225.
I would
Eh,
definitely pair that up with something. Or,
that I mean, minus 225. I mean, because that if you're leaning high on Islam, and granted, this is MMA, anything can happen, anybody can get touched. But Islam has been, and Islam did get knocked out too. 9 fights ago, he got sparked unconscious. We won't forget that. That was who was that against? 1 second. Adriano Martinez. That's right. Yeah, he got sparked unconscious in the first round. Sparked unconscious, not TKO'd. He got knocked out. So he can't get knocked out. But the thing is, Bobby Green has shown that he's not really a knockout artist either. I mean, what was his last knockout win? It was Ally Quinta. I mean, even that wasn't a crazy knock. It was a TKO, really. But yeah, that Ally before that, look, everything decision. Look at all these decisions. Clay Guida decision win. Lando Venata I think was one of the more impressive wins because I'm really high on Lando nowadays. Native New Jersey, I'm high on him. But look, decision loss to Drakkar Close. That was a stupid fight. And Francisco Trinaldo. If we go to see him, I mean, a split decision winner with Dwight Grant. I actually, I had Dwight winning that fight. Just because of the comeback, movement that he had. The Jai Herbert win was impressive, But that's that for that. And but yeah, before that Ally came to finish, his last finish was, God damn it. His last finish was in 2013. So against James Krause, which is interesting because James Krause has proven to be one of the more elite coaches in the game nowadays. And I don't know if he's still active or not, but he's definitely a solid coach nowadays. And that was his last finish. It was against James. I mean, that was 2013. So yeah, but that's why I say I'll give him that. He hasn't gotten finished either since that Dustin Poirier fight, which is 2016. But he's fighting a submission artist. Everybody else that he fought wasn't really he didn't really have any threats for submissions, except for Thiago Moises, which was, you know, he's still proven. And we saw what happened with Thiago and Islam in that fight. And Thiago in that fight actually had some success on the ground against Islam. We saw that he had Islam in trouble a few times with the heel hooks and the guillotine. He had him in trouble a few times. Definitely, it was impressive to see that. But of course, Thiago ended up getting finished in the fourth round by submission. But yeah, this is it's a fun fight. I like Islam by submission or decision, and I like the over 1.5. I actually do like the over 2.5. But if you want to play it safe, go with the over 1.5. But I am gonna put some money on over 2.5, and I'm gonna put the money on Islam to win by submission or decision. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think this one's pretty much. I mean,
It's
unless
pretty much cut and dry for the most part.
yeah, I think Islam got that, but I mean, you never really know. But I think everything's leaning towards Islam.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for the main card. Now let's well, now we were really just gonna do this main card picks because we want to show you. So now that let's go through our picks real quick for the main card. So we're gonna go with we're going with Gregory Rodriguez.
Yeah.
You know, and we're also gonna take the over. Well, I'm gonna take the over. I'm gonna take the stab at that plus money over 1.5. Then we're gonna go with Joel Alvarez as our first money line underdog of the night by knockout. I think I think if he makes the weight, I think he's gonna knock. I mean, he's just big and he's massive, and by knockout or submission, but really, I think he will be able to knock Armin out. Then we're gonna go with Priscilla Cachoeira for the other underdog. I believe she is. Yeah, at plus 140, we're taking Priscilla Cachoeira by knockout. All right, or you can take her by finish, or you can take her by knockout decision. But trust me on this one, Priscilla Cachoeira by knockout. I really believe it's gonna happen. Then we're gonna go ahead and take we're gonna take Wellington Thurman. But like I said, if you want, there is value. I do believe on Misha Serkinov to win by submission. That's the only value I see with Misha. Besides that, I like Wellington by knockout, and so does Chris. And for the main event, cut and dry, we're both going with Islam. For the main event, cut and dry, we're both going with Islam Makhachev to beat Bobby Green by submission or decision, and over 2.5 is what I'm going to go with. Now, you want to go take some?
Let's cut this nonsense off now. For the wee pick of the night, made by me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the early prelims. I'm taking Carlos.
Yeah, the first fight of the night.
The wee pick of the night. Yeah, yo, I'm taking Carlos.
Mhm.
That boy's looking hot right now, but let's see what they're talking. But actually, I went to the rankings. Sheesh. Let's see. Yeah, click his name.
You got Victor Altamirano.
We got Victor first. To me,
regional scene wins. I mean, you saw that last win. I mean, that last loss, Jared Brooks.
He's fairly new into the game.
Mm-hmm. LFA. Wait, he might. And I wanted to mention this too. I don't know if I mentioned it. Gregory Rodriguez, also LFA champion. Let's see.
He's fresh off a win off Contender Series, but he's still new. I believe
And
actually.
also Victor Ultimate. Yeah, yeah, he is. That's what I thought. He's an LK champion as well, Victor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go on to my other man. That my boy Carlos. My boy Carlos.
Carlos Hernandez. That boy.
My boy Carlos be taking fights with people. A lot of new people as well. But there's some resumes in there as well. 12-4. That's someone who gets their feet wet.
12-4. I'm just checking out. But yeah, I mean, Carlos is that Daniel Barras. That was a fight that I had Carlos winning that last fight, and he had an impressive win over Daniel Barras in the Contender Series. I think it should have been a unanimous decision win, but they gave it a split. It's okay, but it's what it is.
I'm
But
taking.
he definitely was looking sharp in that fight.
Yeah, I'm taking Hernandez. I think they're not giving him any justice. If you throw that on Hernandez, let me pull up the odds real quick for this boy. My boy.
Pull him up. Let's pull them odds up.
Let's see. All right. UFC. Hernandez. Let's go back up.
What are the odds saying?
Oh, the odds are kind of
What
changing.
are the lines at? Yeah, they're flipping.
It's minus 145. Hernandez.
Definitely value on that. Just the parlay alone, I think is definitely value on.
So let's see. You know,
You look at his finish rate. I mean, yeah, he has three first round finishes, and all of them are by submission. So I think submission or decision is definitely what's the line on that? That's the way to go.
submission or decision is minus 105. But if you get him KO or decision, that's plus 100. I think this is going to go the distance. I think that might be a good chance to take if you want to
Really?
throw it in
So
your
yeah.
parlay.
So what's the decision prop on that?
What, straight decision?
Mm-hmm.
This is looking like a.
And Daniel Barres, that Spaniard, that fight was so great.
Carlos,
That fight was a great fight.
Carlos by decision
Against
is looking
Barres.
at plus 180. Now that's something I'd take.
I think that is the play to make. Let me see that line. So you got Carlos Hernandez to win by decision plus 180. I think in this situation under these circumstances, I think that's a perfect line to take. But like I said, if you just want to parlay something, just get some value. Carlos at minus 140. I'm fine with that.
Hey, make some money.
Because Daniel Barres was a very, I mean, he's an impressive fighter in his own right. He had a lot of success against Carlos, but Carlos just was able to, maintain the range and just pick his shots a little bit better than Barres, even though he did get taken down a couple times by Barres. But overall, I think it was still a great fight and an impressive one.
Dang, they don't got any fat guys that night.
Now, this is a little one I want to go to. A little Dinkin Dunker. Let's check out Terrence McKinney versus Pharisee Young. I mean, let's just check this one out.
What a stud!
Everyone knows that Terrence McKinney just knocked out Masvidal in 7 seconds. I mean, I guess that was impressive with Matt Favola, coming off that win too against Janar Valdez, a very impressive ground and pound. And before that, he had that fight with Armin Eugene. We were watching that live. That was he was having success in that fight as well. And before that, he had won over Lewis Payne and that win over
He's an
Jalen
underdog
Turner.
right now.
Jalen Turner proved to be pretty powerful at the end. So it's not like Matt Favola is a complete scrub. Like he's been around. He's fought some competition. But before that, what do you have? That was his UFC debut. We don't really have much to base it off. His UFC debut lasted 7 seconds against Matt Favola, who is a good fighter and a very good fighter, but he's not an elite fighter. And
It's kind of they're both at -110 for that. Let me see.
I mean, you look when even the Derek Minner, who was much older dude, and that was an MCF. Derek Minner, or not much older, but Derek Minner actually. I'm thinking about Darren Elkins for some reason because they had just fought. But he's about 4 years older than him. Derek Minner submitted him in the first round. And then Sean Woodson, like those are two fighters. Sean Woodson and Derek Minner are two up and comers that are real proteges in the UFC. And you see what they did to Terrence McKinney outside of the UFC. Now look at Matt Favola. I mean, his UFC debut. Like I said, Matt's a good fighter, not an elite fighter. But I mean, there's nothing really to base it off of.
Hey,
Now, if we look at Perez, I mean, go ahead, Chris. You want to?
wait, let me
You
let me
want to?
go back. Let me go
Yeah,
back.
go
Let
ahead.
me go
Go
back.
ahead
Let
and
me
say
look
your
at this
piece.
other
Say
thing
your
real
piece
quick.
about Terrence.
Let me go slide on this. Oh, wait, where is it? Yeah, right here.
Say your piece about Terrence. But that's my take on Terrence McKinney so far. Not really a lot to base him off of. He has a nice little story though. Coming off all that, almost dying off of the taking the acid and all that, and really rehabilitating himself. So I don't know. But look at those wins right there. Now this is Perez.
I'm taking Terrence for knockout.
All
Put it
right,
in your books.
all right, so Chris is gonna go take Terrence now. Terrence he has sharp hands. I'm not saying, like I said, there still isn't much to base it off of, but with the competition Terrence has been given, he has proven that he can have sharp hands, and he's working on his head movement and being able to pick his shots a little bit clearer. But like I said, still only 7-second knockout. Okay, but look at the wins that Ferris has. I mean, I had Ferris Diam winning that fight too. He was an underdog against Luigi Vendramini. I believe he was like plus 140. But yeah, plus 140 against Luigi. Had that, cashed that out. And I didn't take this fight, but Jamie Malarkey is. I mean, he's proven with that finish win over Devontae. I believe it was or Deion. Yeah, it was Devontae. I believe Devontae Smith. Yeah, over Devontae Smith. Impressive. And Jamie Malarkey has proven that he is also, and that was an underdog. He was an underdog in that Devontae fight. But before that, I mean, decision loss to Damage and
Everything
Vishkin
else is just other
Magomedov.
stuff.
Everything else is regional scene. I
But like
mean,
at the
no
end
one
of the day,
really.
in my opinion, I don't know. I think once this guy hit the UFC, he
And
hasn't done.
Luigi just got knocked out by Patty Pimblett, but he rocked Patty a little bit. That's when I won
Yeah.
that big ticket with Patty Pimblett.
I think with
But
this guy, I think
he
this
was
guy's gonna get
rocking him
knocked
a little
out.
bit.
He's gonna get knocked out. This guy's gonna get knocked out. I don't know. I feel like since he stepped in the scene of the UFC, he's only been making. He can only make stuff go by decision. I
Now,
think
this is the thing,
he's
yeah.
still young. I think he might catch a rocket to the face.
This is the thing that I like. Now, if you check that out, I mean, he's been finished already. He's been finished 3 times in all his 3 losses. So that's the thing.
Hey, he's either taking
He's
you
taking
out
it,
or he's
or
going
he's
out.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna take Terrence.
I'm gonna go with Perez Diam, and I'm gonna go with Perez by. I think just take him money line is fine, but I would take him by decision. I think is a good way to take it. So we're split on this one.
I'm taking Terrence. I'm gonna parlay that with Carlos Hernandez win by decision to catch me at a quick plus 810.
So if we check, all right, yeah. So yeah, it's minus. It's a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em either way. So we're split on this. It's -110 either way. I'm going with Frezion. Chris is going with Terrence. And if we check that, let me just check the over 2.5. Like I said, by decision. There's money there. Yeah, it's over 2.5 is plus 120. So for Zion to win by decision is plus 300. I think that's worth parlaying on like a quarter unit parlay.
Let me see what you're talking. Nunez.
Oh, and Josiane Nunez. You like the little female fights too. I mean, yeah.
Damn, she just be giving women the beats. I'm gonna parlay this doesn't go the distance, and that's gonna be your quick.
Yeah, actually, for this is actually one of the female fights I do like to not go the distance. Actually, surprisingly, Some people, I mean, because it's a little sketchy with these female fights. Because even if you get a real, you have to get to the
But
real
go
top
back, go
elite.
back to her fights.
Oh, Josiane.
Yeah, Juliana.
Yeah, they're all round two finishes, a couple round one finishes.
Huh.
Against Bay Malecki was the best one. We saw that. That was live just a couple months ago. Last summer. And that was a nice
I'm
overall
about to
too.
make the crazy sauce. Let's see.
And if we check out Ramona.
Oh wait, I got it. Wait. Go to the. Let me see her fights. Let me see who she's fought.
Oh, Ramona.
Yeah. Let me see who she's fought.
I mean, they're both coming out of Invicta, I believe. Well, not well. She's coming out of Invicta. Josiane's been around for a little bit.
Yeah. I.
Yeah, well, for one fight,
Oh,
a
she.
little bit
So this
less.
is her first fight.
This is Ramona's first fight.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just trying to choose round one or round two for Nunez.
That's a good prop too. I mean, if like you've
I
seen
say
it, but
make two. Make two. Get one round one, one round two.
yeah, just
You
split it.
can't go wrong. Either
Take a
way,
little
you're going to be in the
sprinkle,
money.
maybe no, a dash of a
All
Eugene.
right. I got you a quick heater. This is the pick. This is the thing for the night. Let's go over my picks.
Let's do it.
That Terrence McKinney to win by KO.
Yeah.
That Carlos Hernandez to win by decision.
Mm-hmm.
And Nunez to win round two. You're looking at plus 4,450.
That's nice. I like that one right there. Now, for my low stake betters, let's do this. Because I'm gonna do a high stakes and a low stake bet but for my low stake bet, which is we went over this before. Let's take Carlos Hernandez money line. All right. Let's go ahead and take Ignacio Bahamondes money line, which is another one I wanted to go over because Zhu Rong is a very impressive. I told you the impressive young Chinese man, 21 years old. I think he's on like a 10 fight win streak. Let's go. Let's check that out right quick. Where is he? There it is. Zhu Rong, 19-4 at 21 years old. I mean,
This guy's 21.
yeah.
You look 30.
That Brandon Jenkins win was, that was impressive. That was right after his
Wait,
debut
let
loss
me
to
look at him.
Rodrigo Vargas.
Let me look at him.
He's chiseled.
Go to the other guy.
The other guy's Ignacio. Ignacio is only 24. So where's
Let me see Ignacio. Ignacio.
and Ignacio
Oh, right here. Right here.
coming off that extremely impressive win as an underdog against who I cashed out against Roosevelt Roberts, came through with the win last second really with the spinning wheel kick, and still he was dominating the fight anyway, really. So he really came through for that one. He has the John Makdessi split decision loss, which I think was kind of is either way.
Go to the picture of them side to side. Go back to that window so I could see them both the reaches and everything. Yeah.
So yeah, the reaches are you got. I mean, Ignacio's 6'3". He's a bigger guy. He's basically like Joelle Alvarez in this, but he can make the weight. And you got a 5'9", 71-inch reach in Zhu Rong. But I like Ignacio Bahamondes by far. And
I'm taking
Ignacio has if we just check him out real quick. Ignacio, I mean, look at all these finishes. I mean, all these round one finishes. You know that even that Hugo Flores win was a he proved his stamina and that one durability. Yeah, I'm going with Ignacio. So let's do this. Let's do like I said, Ignacio, Carlos Hernandez, um, Joelle Alvarez. This is a money line parlay. Joelle Alvarez. Let's go with Wellington Thurman. And I'm gonna I'm also gonna just I'm gonna parlay Josiane Nunez, and I know we're split on this one, but this is gonna be my take. I wanna, even though we're split, I take a half for Zion, but I'll just take the over 1.5 for that fight, which is also it's good if you're split like we are. I think the over 1.5 is a great play for
I'm not
Terrence
split.
McKinney versus Petrosian, but I'm still going to go with
I'm
Petrosian
not
to win.
split. I know who's gonna win the event.
Well, I'm going, yeah. So that's what it is.
I called danapink.
But yeah, we'll just say the over 1.5 right there. We'll just say for the Terrence and Petrosian fight over 1.5. And if you want to leave it at that, a 6 leg parlay, I think that's pretty solid. I mean, at plus 31.50. So you put just for my low stake betters, you put $10 on that, you win 325. Now, if you want to go crazy, put $50 on that. That's 1,700, and that's a 6 leg parlay. Once again, Carlos Hernandez money line, Ignacio Bahamondes money line, Joelle Alvarez money line, Wellington Thurman money line, Josiane Nunez money line, Terrence McKinney versus Farziam over 1.5, and that's all at plus 3,159.
Very nice.
And so any other ones you want to take a look at?
Yeah, I'm good.
So that's really, so yeah, I think we covered most of the bases today. It's going to be an exciting night, exciting fight night. It's going to be free if you have ESPN Plus. And
It's not free.
well, if you have the yearly like I do, it's free. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting fight. There's some real good fights on here. Um, a lot of these fighters that are fighting are all, a lot of them are pay-per-view worthy. So, you know, pop your popcorn. We'll have some fun. Good luck on your bets, everyone.
That's it. Good night.